Hey guys, we're going to check out this video today. It's India wipes out China's paper tiger military. Chinese air defense is demolished in Indian-Pakistan war. Now, I'll tell you one thing. I know that China steals just about every single thing it has ever made, and it's tried to catch up with the American military and other militaries such as the Russian military by, I know it has purchased Russian airplanes and air defenses. Then they take them and they reverse engineer them, and then about 10 years later they come out with what was used to be up-to-date material, and yet theirs is subpar because they reverse engineered it, took shortcuts to get there. And China's trying to become a major military by taking shortcuts. You cannot do that. When's the last war that China won? Now, I know they got into a little skirmish with the Vietnamese and they got their asses handed to them. Same with India. They've done the same thing. I get it. You got a bunch of people, but most don't want to fight for the country because the way y'all force them to do things, and they live in horrible conditions in some cases. But I mean, here lately, all I've seen about China is a bunch of buildings falling, electric cars catching on fire, and it's all due to taking shortcuts and trying to become a superpower by copying someone else's already made stuff. That's not the way to do it. It's not the way to do it. Figure it out yourself. Spend the money to do it. But let's see what they say on this, guys.
Launched missile strikes against Pakistan tonight in an apparent response to a deadly terrorist attack in Indian-administered Kashmir 2 weeks ago.
There's been a dramatic escalation in tensions between two nuclear-armed nations in South Asia.
Pakistan has accused India of igniting.
Now, I do know I play Modern Warships, which is a video game. I know that India, they've got some missiles that are on the game. I know they're really good, and from what I can tell, their missiles are actually really good. And from what I know, they haven't copied other people's on like the BrahMos and stuff like that. Now, I know some countries, you know, are going in with America to build their own F-35s for their situation. Stuff like that, I'm sure has been done because they're using the Rafale jets. But, all right, let's go ahead and get back into it.
Igniting an inferno in the region by killing at least 26 people in a series of missiles.
You say people. Now, hold on, I missed it. I'm sorry.
The conflict tonight at the worst level in the past 3 decades.
I thought they were talking about Pakistan, 26 people. I was going to say, now, were they terrorists? But no, that was in Kashmir, India.
The fears now it's on the brink of all-out war.
China.
Have y'all heard? I just did a video, but have y'all heard that Balochistan, I don't know if I can say it right. Anyway, they have declared independence from Pakistan. Oh, so that's 44% of what used to be Pakistan is gone. So now Pakistan, it's a little wide at the top and then it gets skinny going down because 44% of their country just left due to the way that they've been treated. There's thousands of rapes happening. I mean, just a lot of bad stuff. So they stood up for themselves and broke off from them. And I'm telling Canada, Alberta and Saskatchewan, break off. Get away, because they're about to run y'all into the ground. They're going to run your taxes up. They're allowing illegal immigrants in. Therefore, that raises the cost of housing, but you don't have enough houses for it. But it raises the cost, and those third world people will take $1 to do anything. So they're going to lower your pay, what the regular pay is. So trying to get a job for the average native person that lives there, it's going to be almost impossible. And then what you can get, you're going to get paid a lot less. A lot of these countries need to straighten up and open their eyes. These rich people running the countries, it's pathetic.
China is extremely angry at India, and this time it's not about the Apple factory.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
This time it's about Chinese weapons. You see, the Indian military just released a public report saying that they were able to bypass Chinese air defenses and target Pakistani air bases with impunity. This is definitely not good news for Chinese military or Chinese defense industry. And that's why CCP is very angry.
Last week's hostilities also
I think China needs to stay to China. Don't worry about other countries. Your little Belt and Road stuff, that's all over with. That's done. Your roads are trash. You're not taking all the ports. You're not controlling trade. Your whole economy is off of, I know at least 35% of it is American income. If we wasn't the biggest consumers in the world, y'all wouldn't. Man, I'm telling you, the whole Chinese economy is just, it's all built off of nothing. It's all a paper tiger. Everything about it is paper tiger.
to expose China's air defense systems like the HQ-9 and HQ-16. Both are Chinese made, both are operated by Pakistan. They are copied.
A lot of people talking about how that woman right there, boy, she knows how to throw some shade, especially against Pakistan. And I don't think she likes China a whole lot either.
Of the Russian systems, the S-300 and the S-400 systems. The Chinese machines are modeled on the Russian ones. Defense experts often describe them as cheap.
Exactly, they're modeled after the Russian ones, so that means they bought a Russian one, they reverse engineer it, told Russia, oh, we don't need no more because we have figured out how to make it. But yet, it's only about 30% as good as the one you made, which is still 20 years behind. And it's even further behind America.
Cheaper copies, but they proved to be very costly for Pakistan because they failed. Indian forces breached these Chinese defenses.
I don't get it. Why? Okay, China has been in how many actual wars? How many times has China defended itself? So why would you buy anything from them? China hasn't proven that that system even works. They say it works, but they ain't shown it works.
Since last week, at least 3 locations were compromised: Lahore, Chaklala, and Sialkot.
And just think,
in each case, Chinese air defense systems were neutralized by India, and that raises serious questions about their...
Just think, they could have kept all the billions of dollars that they paid China, their hard-earned stolen money that they stole from their taxpayers and got from selling, you know, the oils and minerals and stuff. All them billions they gave to China. They could have just kept it in their pocket because the building still got blown up. And it didn't protect them.
Their real-world performance. So the market reaction was only to be expected. They were hoping for profits from a sales boost. Instead, they're getting scrutiny after...
Now, originally, I heard Chinese defense stocks went up 17%. Was that China lying or boosting it themselves to make it look like they're doing better? But from what this is saying and from what I'm hearing, their stocks are collapsing.
After delivering a disaster, you see, when a weapon fails, the damage is not just tactical, it hurts reputations. China clearly has a lot of work.
They ain't got a reputation.
Now, it wasn't just the Chinese air defenses. Even Chinese missiles failed, but we'll get to that in just a second. As you guys know, war topics are not really favored on YouTube because war is dangerous and that's not advertiser friendly. So if you guys can do us a big favor and hit that like and subscribe button down below, it really helps us out while making these videos that YouTube is not a fan of. Now, just a quick recap for anyone who hasn't been following this conflict. It all started on April 22nd when a terrorist group based out of Pakistan carried out a deadly attack inside India. India promised to retaliate, and 2 weeks later...
I'm telling you, it always seems like every terrorist is always some extreme Islamist. They're always Islamists. Yes, they are the extreme ones, but it's always Islam that is doing all the terror attacks. They dress like civilians, they hide behind civilians, and they attack without warning.
Later, on May 7th, that retaliation came. May 7th, India destroyed 9 terror camps inside Pakistan. These camps were linked to groups like JEM and LET. Dubbed Operation Sindoor, the Indian offensive involved 80 to 90 aircraft, including Rafale jets armed with Scalp cruise missiles and AASM Hammer glide bombs, alongside BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles, Sky Striker.
That's the word I said earlier. I said BrahMos, yeah. That's the one that I know is India's.
loitering munitions. The strikes destroyed the camps, marking a strong statement against Pakistan's alleged support for terrorism. Pakistan denied the accusations, but destruction left its proxy network in tatters. The most shocking part of all this was when a funeral was held for those who died in this strike. The funeral saw Pakistani military officials and government officials.
I remember seeing a clip of this where they're showing that it's a terrorist that's in the video along with the army. So why is the army standing there with a terrorist, and why is the army at a funeral of terrorists?
Officials standing together with a U.S. designated terrorist. You guys see that person in the white standing in the middle? Well, that guy is Hafiz Abdul.
But I would expect no less, for the simple fact we got a Osama bin Laden from, guess where? Pakistan.
He's a global terrorist and wanted by the United States for killing 160 people, including many American citizens. You may think that with the whole world paying attention to Pakistan, the army may ask the terrorists that it has long nurtured to lie low for a bit. You may think it would at least tell uniformed soldiers not to pray alongside US designated global terrorists. You would be mistaken. And when you ask the Pakistani officials why they are still harboring terrorists and why the terrorists have so prominent roles in Pakistani societies, well, they blame it on the United States. Listen to it yourself.
Why is it our fault?
This is Pakistan's current defense minister just 2 weeks ago.
The things cooled down then, and now again the same thing is...
Let the things cool down.
You do admit, sir, that Pakistan has had a long history of backing and supporting and training and funding these terrorist organizations.
Piece of shit.
Well, we have been doing this dirty work for the United States for about 3 years.
Doing the dirty work for the United States. You're training terrorists for the United States. Now, the one thing I will say, our government, DOGE, has found out that our government has been paying for some of these terrorist organizations to either overthrow other governments, to start shit for us to keep wars going. They want to keep making the military money. You know, you got to have technology, you got to have all this done, which brings in billions of dollars. So they say, hey, let's just pay them to go keep stuff going, so we have a reason to keep making technology better. So he very well could be telling the truth. Our government could have been paying some of the terrorists in Pakistan, and that government knew it.
3 decades, you know, and West, including Britain.
So that's your argument that
that was a mistake, and we suffered for that. And that is why you are saying this to me. If we had not joined the war against Soviet Union and later on the
war against Soviet Union, dude, the Soviet Union ain't been around in 40 years. Well, I know I heard, and I knew of the USSR when I was growing up because I was born in 1980. And in the 90s is when it broke apart. But you're bringing up a war. Why are you bringing up a war from 40 years ago with Russia? Russia's not even in this. This is asking you, why are y'all making terrorists and letting them be inside your country?
The war after 9/11, Pakistan.
And yet, well, I can't say anything, man. For all I know, our government was sitting there sending paychecks straight to Obama, knowing he was going to Pakistan, but not letting our military know it until our military found out. I really don't know, guys. We don't know what we don't know because the government gets away with a lot of shit they shouldn't. They should be in prison. A lot of them right now should be in prison.
Track record, was not, unimpeachable track record.
I don't know about you guys, but I think the war against the Soviet Union is over and the 9/11 war is over. Doesn't make sense why Pakistan is still harboring terrorists. But anyways, after India took out 9 terrorist camps on May 7th, Pakistan retaliated by sending hundreds of drones inside India. This is when the war escalated to a different level because India hit back by taking out Chinese-made air defenses and radar radars inside Pakistan. The next day, India escalated its campaign by targeting Pakistan's air defense network in Lahore. Using precision strikes, Indian forces destroyed Chinese supplied systems, including HQ-16 air defense batteries and radar installation, critical to Pakistan's ability to monitor and counter aerial threats. The loss of these assets exposed gaping holes in Pakistan's military infrastructure, particularly its reliance on foreign technology. Residents of Lahore reported widespread panic as explosions lit up the sky, with air raid sirens unable to mask the chaos. This move ensured that Pakistan's skies were left defenseless, paving the way for further Indian operations. Well, you guys can imagine what the next operation was. Why does anyone take out radars and air defenses? To go in and deal some actual damage. So, on May 9th, India went in again and flattened 11 Pakistani air bases with their missiles. Now, this was the wording India put out. I'm not trying to set myself up for a joke, but I think during a war, the goal is to unflatten the air bases, not flatten them. Anyways, hopefully you get the point, but let's continue with the report. India delivered a devastating blow by flattening...
Tell me what you guys think about this. I'm so tired of hearing about it. So, say 100 civilians die during a war. War is war. The whole the original thing of war was to take over a country, and you take it over by eliminating the people that don't want to be part of that country. That is how it went. What do you think happens if Russia was to take over all of Ukraine right now? And the citizens that are in Ukraine right now that do not want to be Russian and they put up a fight, do you think Russia's just going to take it over and then people are just going to sit there and be a thorn in the side? No, they're going to get rid of them however they need to get rid of them. That is the thing about war. Granted, aiming at hospitals and stuff, yeah, it's a war crime. But here's the thing. Do you know of any leaders that have been arrested for a war crime? And how did it happen? Did the U.S. go to that country and capture the leader and bring them back and then put them in jail? Is that how it works? Because they've said that Putin has done war crimes, but yet he's still walking around Russia free. That's right, because he lives in Russia. So that's a war crime. But as long as they stay in their country and they don't think it's a war crime, because the whole purpose of a war is to take over the land or make them knuckle under and fold to get whatever it is you wanted from them. But anyway, I'm just so tired of having people protest and walk down the street talking about 9 civilians died, and it's like, it's a war. What do you expect? They're only going to hit military people? It's not going to happen. Shit happens.
11 Pakistani air bases using BrahMos supersonic cruise missile. Among the targets were the Nur Khan Air Base near Rawalpindi, a key facility close to Pakistan's military headquarters and vital for air refueling operations. Other bases such as Rafiki in Sorkot and additional strategic sites were also hit with combination of BrahMos, Hammer and Scalp missile launched from Rafale jets. The scale of the operation dwarfed the initial strikes, crippling Pakistan's air force and leaving its military leadership stunned. The precision and firepower of India's assault underscored the technological and strategic disparity between the two nations. Now this is where Pakistan again hits back against Indian air defenses, but they were using Chinese.
My question is this. What does Pakistan having a war with India? There's no way. I mean, they would have to wipe out 1.4 billion people. Like, India has a lot. They got the most people in that country. You're not taking it over. So why are you going to war with them? You're not taking it over. It ain't going to happen.
Chinese-made missiles. So things didn't exactly go according to plan. Here's more details.
A bigger worry, though, is how the Chinese weapons performed or failed to perform, especially the PL-15 missile.
How they didn't
This was
perform.
used in combat for the first time last week, the PL-15. Pakistan fired several Chinese missiles at India. None of them hit the mark. India's air defenses intercepted almost all of them.
And that's one thing I could have told you that. China's missiles aren't going to hit on the mark. How many times do you think the Chinese military have fired something off and it didn't hit where it was supposed to, and they went and told the person above them, their commander, yes, it hit right on target. China hasn't been in. I wouldn't spend billions of dollars on stuff that you don't know if it works. I hope they got to actually test a few of these things out, and they seen that they work 95% of the time. Otherwise, I wouldn't buy it. That 5% is crucial when it don't work.
Several pieces of the Chinese missile landed on Indian soil.
Wow.
In at least one case, an entire missile came down nearly intact. It was found in the Indian state of Punjab. You can see the pictures.
I wouldn't be walking around it.
And since then, missile debris has been recovered from multiple locations in India. There are new photographs almost every day. They show the rear body of the missile and its guidance section. Again, these parts appear to be intact, as if the missile never went off.
It didn't.
There could be several explanations for this. Maybe Pakistani pilots did not fire the missile correctly, or the missile lost power, or it was shot down, or it just missed the target. Whatever the reason, the result
it was a
the
dud.
The missiles proved to be duds. They fell on the ground, mostly undamaged. And this is very bad publicity for the company that...
Well, I'm going to tell you now. I've seen the Chinese made junk they send over here for $1 or $2, and it is literal trash. Chinese do more pollutant to the entire world than the rest of the world does. They truly do. Between the smoke they put in the air, the smog, whatever you want to call it, and then just trash. Have you ever seen all the bicycles? They got miles of just bicycles piled up. Cars. They got electric vehicles that have never been driven, completely rusted out. Their ships, after a year or two, completely rusted. They make a lot of junk, and they cut corners to make it happen fast. And then they think they're larger than people. Oh, we got 304 boats. Yeah, but your tonnage is 1 ton or 1/4 of the U.S. The U.S. has 3 times the tonnage that the Chinese have.
That makes them. These pictures are circulating the world over. They would certainly make China's defense clients think twice. Who would buy a weapon that does not do its job?
Not me.
The wreckage is now with the Indian authorities. It is a valuable asset. It can reveal key details about the missiles.
Now, originally, I swear they said that the Chinese defense stocks went up 17%. I bet you whoever did buy that 17% are probably canceled as soon as these videos started coming out.
Range, design, and vulnerabilities. This can help India build countermeasures. It also exposes the enemy's weaknesses. For intelligence agencies, this is a major gain. For China, it is a strategic setback.
Now, this is where things started getting crazy.
Another question, I'm not sure, but is Pakistan and Russia not close together at all? Because I know Pakistan has some F-16s, and I thought that America would be close with India, which we are, but are we closer than Pakistan? And isn't Pakistan in NATO? No. Are they in NATO? I can't remember. I'm going to have to look it up, guys. Anyhow, just curious. Are they in the EU? Yeah.
Crazy because both sides didn't really produce any proof of what they were carrying out or how much damage they were dealing, but they were claiming some big wins.
No, that's
Pakistan
Turkey I was thinking of, sorry.
That they took down 5 Indian jets, but they didn't share any
My bad.
evidence, and when asked about proof, they said check social media. We do know at least 1 Indian jet was taken down, but we still don't have...
I did see where the guy said check social media to see that they had shot down 5 Indian planes. They're finding plenty of your missiles on social media. Not any planes, though.
Don't have any confirmation from the Indian side.
Brought up the fact that India lost some fighter jets. So let's be
there it
clear
is.
about this.
That's what I
Pakistan
seen.
claims it shot down 5 Indian Air Force jets and a drone, as I understand it. India says there's no evidence of that, no proof. So can you provide more detail? Hold on. Can you provide more detail? And is this the response that your army spokesman threatened, or is there further action to come? Let's start with this very specific allegation of 5 fighter jets shot down. Where's the evidence?
Don't look like it.
It's all over the social media, or Indian social media, not all social media. The debris of these jets fell into Indian occupied Kashmir, and it's all over Indian media today.
Oh, get out of here.
The reason to talk to you today, sir, is not to talk about content or...
I'm sorry, even though India, you know, like America, we lost one of our F-18s. It fell off the ship when they were in the process of trying to outmaneuver a drone or something like that. But it wasn't locked in, so it had rolled off the deck. And one time, I forgot what the module is called inside the ship, but one of our missiles, the pilot had to eject out of the plane due to us shooting our own plane down. Well, we still, you know, it's out, you know it. Well, India, they would have really wanted to know, but I'm pretty sure they would have said, all right, we lost 5 of our pilots due to it being shot down.
All over social media. I'm sorry, it's not to talk about content all over social media. I'm asking you very specifically for the evidence, for the detail. For example, was any Chinese equipment used by Pakistan?
Guys, I got a little emergency coming up. Let me hop off of this and I'll come back later.